So good morning, everybody. My name is Matt Aronson. I am the Lenovo rep that supports University of Richmond. And today we're going to review the options that you have for this year's PC refresh. On the call with me today from the Lenovo side is Ryan Gardner and Carter Searcy, so you might see their names pop up. Ryan is our technical client advisor. So pretty much will answer any question that goes above my head. And then Carter Searcy is my teammate based out of our US headquarters, who will be reviewing the chat to field questions as well. So throughout this session, if you have any questions, feel free to come off mute, raise your hand, or just pop something in chat. I'm happy to address it. So let me go ahead here and share some slides highlighting the products that we are offering the university this year. Stephanie, could you enable screen sharing? Hey, Stephanie, are you there? I am not able to share my screen right now.
He's coming back with you.
Let's blame it on O. It's his fault.
What? Sorry, somebody was at my door.
Oh, no worries. Could you enable screen sharing for participants?
Yeah, I thought I had. Okay.
All right, perfect, thank you. All right, and I should also mention that I had an unexpected leak in my house this morning. So if there's a little bit of banging in the background, I am very sorry. They're tearing down a wall right now, but hopefully the noise suppression is working well here. So let's start with the laptop options. So there's going to be 4 options. 2 T series, which are differentiated by a 14-inch and a 16-inch, and then 2 X1 series, which are our premier products, differentiated by a traditional clamshell design in your X1 Carbon, and then a 360-degree 2-in-1, if you would, with your X1 Yoga. So if we take a look at the differences between the T series to start off, these devices are extremely similar. In fact, they have the same motherboard. I would call them, big brother and little sister. Your 16-inch is this T16 in the top right corner. The biggest difference, aside from, of course, the screen size, is going to be your keyboard. So your T16 is going to include a 10-key number pad on the right-hand side of the keyboard. So that's going to offset the rest of the keyboard to the left, including your touchpad, so that when you are typing, you're not going to be resting your palm on the touchpad itself. The devices have the same exact ports. It's going to have 2 Thunderbolt USB-C ports, a full-size RJ45 jack for internet or Ethernet, excuse me, 2 USB-A ports for your accessories, mice and keyboards, and then a full-size HDMI port as well. The standard configuration is identical on both of these models. You're looking at the newest Intel i5 13th gen processor, an FHD Plus display available in non-touch, touch, and e-privacy options. They do come with 16 gigs of memory. One of those memory DIMMs will be soldered to your motherboard. So you're going to have 8 gigs of memory soldered to the motherboard. And then the other 8 gig stick is in a DIMM slot. So what that means is, if you get the standard configuration, it will come with 16 gigs out of the gate. If 2-3 years down the road, you feel like you need more RAM, you can upgrade the RAM by adding either a 16 gig or 32 gig DIMM to the open slot. So it has a maximum upgradable memory of 48 gigs. That would be your 8 gig. Of 40 gigs. That would be your 8 gig that's soldered down, and then the 32 in the open slot. Aside from that, you do have Wi-Fi 6. WLAN on this, and it comes standard with our 3-year warranty. Let me take a quick second because I just rambled off a bunch of specifications to you guys. Are there any questions about these devices? Any questions about anything I've stated thus far. Okay, fantastic. Um, I will at the end of this call, I do have the products with me, so we could do a live show and tell if you guys want to get more of a hands-on look at them. So know that I've saved that for the end of the presentation.
Hey, Matt, it looks like there was a question. Somebody did have a hand raised. So if looks like Maribel, if you want to hop off mute.
Yeah, hi, just a quick question. I can't tell exactly by these pictures, but are these both like turnaround tablets, or is one of them or neither of them?
Neither of them have a 360-degree hinge. So it's a 180-degree hinge highlighted kind of in the middle there. That's the furthest back the display will go.
Ah, okay, I see. I
Yeah.
kind of, it's like camouflaged. Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that.
No,
Yeah,
it's
so,
okay. It's okay. I see it now.
these are what I would refer to as a traditional clamshell design for a laptop. It's not built for using a pen or using in a tablet mode. We do have an option on the next page that is a better fit for that use case.
All right, thank you.
Sure. All right, so moving on to the other two mobile options, the ThinkPad X1 Carbon and the ThinkPad X1 Yoga. The X1 Carbon is again that more traditional clamshell notebook. It is also a 14-inch device. The biggest difference between the X1 Carbon and then your T series is going to be your weight. So the X1 Carbon comes in at just under 2.5 pounds. It's ultra thin. I believe it's 17 millimeters high. Um, and then you also do have 4 microphones across the top of the display instead of just 2 on the T series. The 4 microphones are going to enhance with just an enhanced audio experience for, Zoom or Teams. Also does really well with background noise reduction. The cousin of the X1 Carbon is the X1 Yoga. So this is going to be your 360-degree hinge, 2-in-1 device. It has a pen that garages in the system that you can use for inking. It's also a 14-inch device, but because of the materials we use and then a glass overlay we have to support inking, it is going to be about a ½ pound heavier than the Carbon. So still super light, super thin, but noticeable difference between the non-inking 180-degree option and the Carbon. These have the same configuration or standard configuration as the T series. That's i5 16 gig, 512 gigs of storage, FHD plus display. Where they will differentiate is on the memory. All of your memory is soldered. So you cannot upgrade the memory down the road. What it leaves our factory with is what it will have for its life. So if you think you might want to upgrade the memory down the future, you want to have a little bit more flexibility in your configuration, the X1 line is not going to offer you that. So let me pause here. Were there any questions about either of these options? Oh, hold up. Let me just speak to ports because I know that will come up. It does have the same ports as the T series. So again, that's dual Thunderbolt ports, 2 USB-A ports, an HDMI port, and then I think I failed to mention this last time, but all of the models do have a 3-millimeter auxiliary cable port if you want to plug in like a headset or something like that. Were there any questions about the X1 options we're looking at today? Okay, fantastic. If anything comes up, just pop them in the chat, raise your hand, or come off mute at any time. And again, I will revisit all of these options at the end of our call. So we're going to shift gears a bit and look at the 2 desktop options that are available this year, the ThinkCentre M70Q and the ThinkCentre M70S. So the M70Q is what we call a tiny. It's this device in the bottom left corner of your display. It is a 1-liter form factor, so super, super small. The M70S is its big brother. It is a small form factor, so I believe it comes in at 5 liters. Maybe Ryan, you could keep me honest there, but
Yeah,
definitely
it's a
larger.
little bit bigger. About
Oh,
7 liters.
okay, so 7 liters, so about 7 times bigger than its tiny. That's going to offer you some PCIe slots, more room for expansion if if space isn't a concern for you. So both of these will have the same standard configuration, i5, 16 gig, 512. The Tiny does come standard with the 13400T processor. So T is going to denote a 35-watt CPU. So out the gate, the performance of the processor on the larger model is slightly higher just because it is taking in your full wattage. We do offer the non-T processor, sorry about that, the non-T processor on our Tiny as an option if that is a requirement. The memory on both of these desktops is upgradable and removable. And same with the storage. These are just M.2 SSDs that can be pulled in and out of the system. Another important difference to highlight in terms of ports and functionality is the small form factor will have a DVD slot. The Tiny does not. You can of course attach a DVD burner to the Tiny via USB if you wish, but if you want an integrated DVD drive, you will have to go with the small form factor. In terms of ports, pretty similar. The Tiny is going to have a USB-C port on the front, along with 2 USB-A ports and your 3.5 millimeter aux cable. On the rear, for display, you're going to have 2 full-size display ports and an HDMI port. And then I believe there's a total of 6 USB-A ports total, 2 on the front, 4 in the rear. The Tiny does have Wi-Fi as well. That's another important difference to notate, that the small form factor standard configuration does not have a Wi-Fi card, so you will have to use integrated Ethernet to connect to the internet. On the small form factor, you're looking at very similar port configuration. You're going to have even more USB-A ports, but from a display standpoint, it's the same configuration with 2 full-size display ports and 1 HDMI port. Were there any questions on desktops? Okay, great. Now, if you guys bear with me 1 second, I do want to show you these devices live. So let me just stop sharing for a moment and get my camera going here. So just to give a shameless plug here, I've actually connected my PC to my Motorola ThinkPhone. For those of you who are not aware, Lenovo does own Motorola. So if you have a ThinkPhone, you could kind of just connect it on the go like that. First, I'll start off with our Tiny, just to give you an idea of the actual size of it. It's, it's about the same size as my palm here. So super versatile. We do have these Tiny-in-One Flex monitors. They're really neat because you could actually just buy the stand if you want. Any Lenovo monitor is going to hook up to these. You could, of course, buy the full kit here if you want, but if you want to keep your monitor and just buy the stand, you can do that. And what's nice is the Tiny will just slide in here. You need no cables for the Tiny. When it's in here, the power cable of the monitor is going to power your PC, and it's also going to connect to all your ports. So your display will go up there. You can use the ports on the rear of the monitor with your PC. It's a really clean solution. Again, there's just one wire running to power, and you're all set. So this is the Tiny-in-One Flex monitor, and you would want to pair it with our Tiny. Another nice thing about this is if you get the monitor and theoretically in 10 years, you could buy a new PC and just keep your existing monitor. So looking at, this is our T-Series option. I do have it in silver here. The the university is purchasing black ThinkPads, but this is just the one I had with me. Um, you'll notice you have your standard keyboard configuration. On your 16-inch, you will have your 10 key there. As mentioned before, it is 180-degree hinge, so I can't bend it any further. You do have up-firing speakers right across your keyboard here for a premium audio experience. And then your camera will be an FHD camera with IR capabilities. That grade of camera is the same with all of the options across this year's portfolio. Looking at the carbon, it's substantially lighter. It's certainly noticeable from picking it up or having it in your bag. It does have the same display size, but it's a smaller footprint because we have a slimmer bezel here. So an increased screen to body ratio. Notice it is, pretty significantly thinner than the other option as well, while it maintains the same ports. And the carbon, of course, only comes in our classic ThinkPad black color here. And then lastly, its cousin, the X1 Yoga. This is the one you could use in tablet mode as well. I actually use one of these for work. I prop it up all the time like this, especially if I'm on a plane or something when you have limited space. I did mention that this has an integrated pen. So that pen stores in the system here. While it's in the system, it's charging. I think it's something crazy like a 30-second charge gives you like an hour of pen use. You'll forget that this pen requires a charge just because you'll always house it here and you'll be good to go. Again, here you have up-firing speakers. The Carbon has those as well. And then on the bottom, you have two mini subwoofers, again, for premium audio experience. So let me go back to my desk here and I could field any questions you guys may have about the products we've looked at today. Okay, it looks like we had some questions in chat that we've been fielding. What was everyone's question answered to their liking, or is there anything we could highlight? Looks like we just had one come in. Stephanie Robin asked, do we have these on site that we could come to stop by and look at in person?
I've ordered some, but I don't know if they'll be here by the time it's time to make a selection and order. So as of today, no, I don't have any on hand.
Martha asked the weight on the T series. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I'm assuming Carter can pull that up
The
real quick to
T
get back to you.
series for the T14, it starts at 2.9, and for the T16, it starts at 3.7.
Thank you.
Stephanie, you're beating me to it.
Well, I kind of I get asked these questions, so I already looked it up.
Hey, you're
So
better prepared than I am right now.
Catherine asked if these use all the same docking station. The answer is
Yes.
yes. It is a USB-C docking station, same model across all platforms.
And yes, you will get a new docking station with your new system this year.
And Stephanie, on the ones you ordered, they'll be delivered this week to you.
This week,
Yep.
so let's see.
There's
So,
yeah,
okay.
they're having asset tags put on them now.
Okay, so if I get them this week, what I can do is send y'all an email and give you a chance to look at them the first part of next week, since I don't know exactly what day I'll get them. Because all decisions have to be to me by the 26th, so I can start putting orders together. Any more questions?
This question is for Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie. It's Tracy.
Hey.
Is there a different process you have to go through if you want a different monitor when you get your new laptop?
If you want a new monitor, you just let me know, get your contact person, let them know that, and I'll send prices and everything back and collect indexes and order them when I order the systems.
Okay, thank you.
So if there's anything else that anybody may want to order, to come in with their system, let me know that and I get all that information to you before ordering time. If there are no other questions, thank everybody for coming. And if you do have questions, please shoot me an email. We'll get them answered. Thanks. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
You.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay.